When I took the Miss World crown off my head and placed it on the head of Miss India that night back in 1994, my reign had ended in an instant. The cameras rolled, the music swelled, and the credits began to fade. And then quietly but decisively, what you didn't see was that there was a red rope pulled across the stage. She stood in front of it, and I actually stood behind it. And just like that, I was ushered off the stage. And in that moment, yeah, I could have crumbled, because after a year of representing the world, I was no longer in the spotlight. It was no longer mine. But I didn't fall apart because I knew something vital. It was never the crown that defined me. It was the experience and what I was going to use from that experience to go forward. Because I refused to live in a year that had already passed. I was secure in who I was, crown or no crown. And that same kind of inner clarity guided me throughout my life. And perhaps what allowed me so many years later, in February 2016, after watching my party lose a general election, to quietly pick up the phone and call my permanent secretary at the Ministry of Youth and Culture and tell her, P.S., I'll be in early tomorrow morning to hand in my cabinet pass and all the trappings that came with being a minister of government. I didn't want any drama. I didn't want a press conference, just grace. And when she said, Minister, you don't have to come in tomorrow morning, I said, no, I must, because it's a transition. And when I thanked the staff, they said to me, and she said to me, Minister, would you like a team to escort you out? I thanked her and I said, no, I'm fine. Because titles are fleeting. And whatever you don't fully own or whatever you're not in control of is always temporary. You may be basking in the glow of a job title now or a political appointment. You may be basking in a moment of fame or prestige, but it can all be taken away because it was never truly yours. You see, real independence doesn't come from holding a title. Real independence is knowing who you are actually without one. And true freedom comes when you no longer need the world to validate your worth. It comes when you can humbly walk forward unshaken, unescorted, because your sense of self isn't borrowed, it's built. So yeah, wear the title if you have one, serve it well, but never let the title wear you. Because power borrowed is never as strong as power owned.